we're back yet again. And okay, yeah, our volume is still working.
Check.
I'm going to kind of click that up a little bit just in case. There we go. Okay, anyway, I'm Lonnie.
I'm Mark.
And we are Untitled Nerd Network, brought to you by Infinity Flux out of Hixson, Tennessee.
Right here.
And this is Comic Book Malarkey.
Right.
I want to talk about upcoming comic book films.
Okay.
Now, Wonder Woman just came out, so we can't talk about it much.
I do want to say something, though,
Okay.
because I don't know if you noticed it when you came in the store, but
Big
if
display.
you are looking to get your Wonder Woman fix on, if you've gone out and watched Wonder Woman and you're like, I just need more Wonder Woman in my life, Infinity Flux has a massively huge display of Wonder Woman stuff here. It's all right here for you to come and look at. And of course, they've got their back issue boxes as well, which basically are a whole bunch of boxes that look like this, but there's just an entire wall of them right over here that you can't see. So definitely come and check that out. I had to plug the store.
Speaking of, how long y'all gonna have that Wonder Woman set up?
At least a couple weeks.
Couple weeks?
Yeah.
Okay, so it'll be here.
Yeah.
I would say, sometime before kind of the middle to end of June, drop in and check that out, because they have hardcovers of old Golden Age copies. And
Yep, and they've got some of the old, more modern stuff. They got some covers that kind of look Linda Carter inspired. It's a pretty nice little setup they've got. They got just this one whole. It's actually a retro comic book stand with nothing but Wonder Woman on it. So come check that out.
if we need to, like on Clerks, like there's that part where they're talking about things they hate about the customers.
Yeah.
And there's the guy that's like, hey, do y'all know where I can find so-and-so? And like right behind him there's like a giant sign.
Yeah.
He'd like do a thing where I walk in. It's like, hey, y'all have any Wonder Woman books? And there's like a giant display there.
I'm not even supposed to be here today. Sorry. Love Clerks.
But anyway, the next big movie coming out
Spider-Man.
Just right at a month away. July 7th.
Not even a month. The
2017.
17th, right?
Yep.
7th.
7th.
So a month from today, a month from the day we're filming.
Yeah. SpiderMan Homecoming. Now, are you excited to see Michael Keaton in a villain role as the Vulture?
I am excited. I'm actually excited for this movie altogether. I think Sony finally made the right move in going, every other Spider-Man movie we've made has not really met the bar that the fans want.
Yeah.
So we are going to team with Marvel. We are going to work with Marvel to make a Spider-Man story that is going to work. I don't even care all that much that it's included in the cinematic universe, although that makes me extremely happy. That does make me extremely happy.
Yeah.
I really, like I said, I've said this before, I think Marvel needs to find a way to rein in all their titles and make it a bigger, more cohesive universe. But Spider-Man is kind of the linchpin, I think, because, he's that everyman that everybody can connect to. And I'm really excited for this movie. All the trailers I've seen for it, just every trailer, I'm just like, I have to go see this. I will be there opening night.
It's going to be really good. I'm looking forward to it. Now, I want to talk about the trailer. A lot of neat effects.
Which one? There's been 3.
Well, I guess the first initial full-length trailer.
Okay.
Not the teaser, but and there's the part where Tony Stark takes away his costume.
Right.
I guess because
from what we're led to believe in the trailer, it has to do with the boat incident and people could have gotten killed. And
it's like, what would they have done if he wasn't there?
Right. Well, had he not been there, I don't think the Vulture would attack the boat.
That's a good point. Okay, so but no, Stark tells him something during this little exchange.
Oh, it's actually one of my favorite quotes from the trailer.
Where he's like, Peter Parker's like, well, if I don't have that suit, I'm nothing. And he was like, if you're nothing without the suit, then you don't deserve it.
Right.
And I'm like, is that not technically him looking in the mirror? Because, he's got money, but if you took away Stark's money and his suit, what is he? Can anybody tell me that, please?
What did he say? Attractive, billionaire, philanthropist?
Yeah,
what did he say
but
to Steve?
He's got to have money for all
Steve?
that. And like he doesn't have superpowers, and he's really not. He's a cool guy, but he's trying to put himself above Peter Parker, and I don't think that's fair because.
Well,
Or maybe he's
So
looking,
in Tony's defense, Peter has powers without the suit.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, you know, the suit just has a whole bunch of little neat little gadgets and stuff in it that
Maybe he's becoming too reliant on it.
I'm thinking maybe that might be. We're gonna have to see the movie to
I
find
think they're
out.
going to do a
but
better job of explaining it in the movie as opposed to the trailer.
I do too, but I do like that statement. You know, if you're nothing with it. Okay, so there's a couple of things that I like about this trailer. Number one, we haven't been beat to death with, you know, those with power. You know, with great power comes with great responsibility. Because we were beat to death with that in the first Spider-Man movies, like the Tobey Maguire ones. And I get that that's like a central concept
It
of the
is.
Spider-Man thing, but I didn't need to be beat to death with it through 3 whole movies. You know,
Are you happy that we're not having to sit through the origin Uncle Ben getting shot again?
I am. I mean, because I've seen it twice now. And I don't think anybody who's going to go see this movie knows that story. You know, we might get a mention of it. I hope we don't get a flashback of it, but we might get a mention of it.
Yeah.
You know, I like that they're going with like Marissa Tomei as the Aunt May. I like that.
I'm actually going to be able to get my dad to watch this movie
Because
he's
of
had
her?
a thing for Marissa Tomei for 20 years.
Since My Cousin Vinny.
Yep.
Love that movie. The 2 Utes.
Yeah.
Did you say Utes?
You know, we're going to have to do a review on that movie just because.
Fair enough, we can do that. It's
Yeah.
not comic book inspired, but we can. It's the Untitled Nerd Network. It's a nerdy thing. We can do nerdy stuff.
But that movie, really looking forward to it. We can sit here and talk about it for like the entire segment. But, this is actually, this list that we're going through is courtesy of ScreenRant.com. I want to give credit where credit's due.
Send the check here.
Yeah,
The endorsement check.
The actual schedule is a lot bigger than what we're covering, but there's a handful of movies that I don't really think are relevant, and then there's a handful on this list that happened already
Right.
this year.
We kind of
So,
sort of missed those.
Yeah, we're just talking about the ones that are coming out. They're Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets.
See, I didn't even know that was coming until I was sitting down at Guardians of the Galaxy.
too.
And saw a commercial for it, and the commercial looks really intriguing. Like the
It does.
commercial tries to drag you in. I still don't know what it's about yet, except apparently there's this one place that these 2 people are trying to defend. It's really all I got out of the trailer.
I think this movie is going to be one of those big flashy set pieces that looks cool in a trailer, but will end up not doing too well, kind of like the John Carter movie. It was the biggest flop of all time.
I mean, you know, it had such potential, and it looked so nice in the trailers, and then they just, I was a huge John Carter fan. I've actually read John Carter was written by the same guy who wrote Tarzan.
Oh.
Yeah. Edgar Rice Burroughs.
Yeah, it was some older stuff.
Yeah.
Batman and Harley Quinn, animated film. Now, I mean, we're going to go into this is basically the DC.
It's I think it's
Cinematic
somewhere in the
universe.
DC animated cinematic universe. I think you've got the Arkham Asylum movies in there somewhere. You've got a couple other movies that are in there as well. I think they started building a cohesive universe just recently, but it's all centered usually around. It looks like it's all centered around Batman.
It's going to be a brand new original story that's not hampered by comic book stuff.
That'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Although, you know, like apparently it's him and Harley team up to go after Poison Ivy or something like that. Is what I read. It'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see those 2 work together, and I'll be extremely pleased if we can. So, I was a huge Killing Joke fan, like the graphic novel. Huge fan of the graphic novel for the Killing Joke. The movie ruined it. Like even though they got Mark Hamill, to play the Joker, I think so. Number one, I think them going with a story that's not in the comic books and putting it on screen is good, because the Killing Joke for me, there was a lot of
lore.
Well, not just that. There was a lot of dialogue that I don't think translated well to the screen.
Yeah.
Like I think it was a little bit more harder hitting, and there were set images and panels in the comic that when you animate them, I felt lost a little bit of their power. And then also the whole Batman Batgirl having sex thing, just from the very beginning of that movie, I was done.
You know what I would like to see? This is a little bit off topic, but I would like to see an alternate universe where Joker and Batman team up.
That would be interesting.
Because there are flashes where these guys occasionally like fit together. Like they're mortal enemies.
That would be really interesting
But
to see.
I would like to see like an Elseworld story or some kind of what if deal, alternate universe or something.
I need to double check it, but I think that when they did Batman, Spider-Man, Joker, and Carnage, like I think he winds up working with Batman and Spider-Man to stop Carnage. Just like they did a Batman Captain America thing where he turns on Red Skull when he finds out Red Skull's a Nazi.
Now, what we need to see is this is actually Batman Harley Quinn. I think is going to be kind of a preview of what to expect when Deadpool 2 comes out, because Batman and Harley Quinn equals Deadpool and Cable.
I'm going to call that a huge stretch.
The dynamic, I really think.
I don't know, because personally I think that as much as they've over-sexualized Harley Quinn in the most recent comics, I think that they're going to try to do that again, and that's going to just really grate with me. There's a lot of movies that they throw in a sex scene where they don't need to throw in a sex scene. And
I think this is going to be one of them.
I think that they're going to try to do that with this one. I mean, heck, they did it with Killing Joke. I mean, they threw in a sex scene between him and Batgirl, which that's just wrong on every level, considering that Batgirl's like young enough to be his daughter, and she's like the commissioner's daughter, and it was wrong on every, like, anybody who's known anything about Batman, Batgirl lore.
It did seem out of place.
Yeah, it was
just kind of
extremely
popped up
out of
out of
place,
nowhere.
and it was wrong. So there was that, and then they went from, and that was like, that movie could have done completely without that, because it had nothing to do with the comic book. It's not in the graphic novel.
It added a little bit of tension.
They just tacked it on, and I don't know why.
Next up, debuting October 6th of this year, Kingsman: The Golden Circle.
I'm excited.
I never saw the first one.
I will loan it to you. I have it on DVD. I will loan it to you.
Okay, is it really that big of a thing?
It is. So,
I've seen the trailer to this movie, and it looked cool.
So, the first one, let me put it to you this. After you see this movie, and I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but after you see this movie, you will never hear Freebird the same again.
Okay.
Okay? Ever. I will loan it to you. I'm just going to ask you to watch it all the way through.
Okay.
It's an amazing movie.
But here it is. This is one of those movies that looks like I'm going to enjoy it, but it's just one of those I never got around to watching.
And I was kind of the same way with it. I didn't really get Kingsman until it came out on DVD. And I will admit that I had a friend of mine who bootlegged it and let me borrow it. I actually went out and bought a copy.
Okay.
Like, I went out and bought a literal copy of it, because I was like, okay, this, like I said, you will never look at Freebird the same again. Freebird in church.
Just a few weeks before my birthday, November 3rd, Thor Ragnarok. Now, I know you're looking forward
You're
to
another
this
Scorpio. Oh, fellow Scorpio, fellow Alabama fan. No wonder we get along.
I'm not a Scorpio.
November
I'm
3rd?
Sagittarius.
No, November 3rd. When's your birthday?
I said it's a few weeks before my birthday.
When's your birthday?
24th.
Oh, yours is the day after my son's. Okay, yeah, you're Sagittarius. Okay. Yeah.
Thor Ragnarok. Now, I've talked about in our previous
When we were talking
episodes.
about the Ballad of Bay Ray
Yeah,
Bill.
we were talking about the Ballad of Beta Ray Bill. My prediction is that he appears in an after-credit scene in Thor Ragnarok.
I will worship your feet. I said it in the last video. If I will squeal. First off, I will squeal like fangirl. I'm pretty sure that anybody within a 5-mile radius will be able to hear me scream, and I will be extremely happy if they set it up so that the next Thor movie is a Beta Ray Bill story.
So this is going to be, Ragnarok. It's going to be like what, the destruction of Asgard. It's going to be Planet Hulk.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Planet Hulk, destruction of Asgard. I think they're going to throw an Infinity Stone in there somewhere, because they
Soul Stone.
got to where, yeah, and the Soul Stone, because we've not seen it yet. Let's see, we've got space. Tesseract is space. The ether is power. No, wait, the ether was reality.
Do you have the time gem yet?
No, we haven't seen the time gem either. So we've not seen solar time, because we've got mind. Vision's got the mind gem.
Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah, that's right,
Yay!
Doctor Strange. Thank you. That's right. So we've got, the only one we're missing is soul, and so that's what we're waiting for.
Okay.
What else we got?
Very, very much looking for this. That's probably going to be my most anticipated movie of the year. Thor Ragnarok, and I didn't care for Dark World. And believe it or not, like
Dark World was kind of a downstep from the first
Thor,
movie.
the first Thor was really the low point for me to Phase 1. But for whatever reason, maybe it's because Hulk's going to be in it. Maybe it's because I'm expecting a lot of big things. Because this is going to do.
He's my friend from work.
Well, this is going to be the Infinity Gem stories that we've been lacking in the last couple of movies.
And it's also going to set up for Infinity War.
Yes, cannot wait.
So
cannot wait.
I'm looking to see how they wrap that up, and I'm kind of interested to see how they tie in, because the cool part about you mentioning Beta Ray Bill is they did World War Hulk. Well, they did a Hulk versus movie, and they did the World War Hulk cartoon, right? And in the original World War Hulk storyline, when Hulk was a gladiator, Silver Surfer came and took the little restraining bolt off of him and set him free so that he could go and, you know, become the king of the planet. Well, when they animated it and did the World War Hulk story, since Silver Surfer is a Fox product, they couldn't use Silver Surfer. So they used Bill. So there's even another chance for Bill to show up. So, you know, that was like when I saw, and even in the animated thing, I was like, really, why would you throw him in this? It's supposed to be. And oh wait, they can't use Silver Surfer because they don't have the rights to it.
Finally, a week before my birthday, on the 17th of November, and I've never gone.
2 days after my birthday.
I've never gone to see a DC movie like the current iteration. The last DC.
I don't know whether to like be in envy of you or to worry about you. No, I'm going to envy you because trust me, you've not missed much.
Well, I've seen all the movies except for Wonder Woman, but this actually Justice League looks promising. But I've also heard rumors that they shot the movie and they basically completely reshot the movie in post-production. And
I've heard that as well, like after the director's parents died. Something about Joss Whedon came in and did some finalization.
No, Zack Snyder's daughter committed suicide.
Okay, right.
Yeah, that sucked.
And then, so Joss Whedon came in and did some final things, which that gives me hope. Because anything Joss has touched has been gold. So, you know,
unless you get the studios involved, as in the case of Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Well, yeah.
And they really screwed that movie over.
No, true. I don't think he really had that big of a hand in it. Like, he was the first Avengers movie I know. And then...
Who did the second one?
Kevin Feige, I think? I'd have to look.
Continue. I'm going to look at that while we're...
So, yeah, Justice League's coming out. I have fundamental issues with Justice League because... You know, you've got DC is doing amazing in their television series. Like, you've got Flash is doing good. I'm not a huge fan of Arrow, but that's basically because they're using a lot of Batman stories in Arrow. Supergirl is doing amazingly well. The Legends of Tomorrow is doing amazingly well. He did? Oh, yep. Okay, so Joss did do Avengers too. I apologize. I stand corrected, or I sit corrected.
You better apologize to him.
So,
I said Ultron, actually.
Yeah. You know, they've got that huge TV thing going on, but yet when it comes time to cast this movie, they're like, oh, we're going to completely cast whole new people as these characters. Like, Ezra Miller as the Flash, I'm just not buying it.
That was really where the casting kind of derailed for me. Momoa is Aquaman.
Oh, God, he looks amazing.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, we've got Aquaman, we've got Wonder Woman. I'm a big fan. I'm actually a fan of Ben Affleck as Batman.
Okay, so I went and saw Batman Superman, and I'm a stickler for like in-movie continuity. If you're going to create some rules, create some rules. But truth be told, I walked out of Batman Superman and Ben Affleck was the best thing in it for me. And I was one of those people that went into it going, he ruined Daredevil. He's going to ruin this.
I like Daredevil.
And
sorry, I like Daredevil.
It was a good movie. I will give you that it was a good movie, but there were just some things that
I like the Thomas Jane Punisher.
The Thomas Jane Punisher was a good movie. We might have to do a review of that one. The one with John Travolta?
Yes.
Yes. I like that one. I love that one. Especially when he's telling a dude about isometrics in it. Like with the hold the bomb thing. Like, it only weighs 8 pounds, but hold it out with your arm.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, Justice League looks interesting. I'm going to be so. I've had the advantage of having seen Wonder Woman. I won't talk about it. I'll wait until you see it, and then we can come back and do a review of it. However, as of right now, I will say that Wonder Woman is holding up the DC Cinematic Universe on her shoulders by herself.
I've heard that.
There are a lot of memes going around on Facebook right now that show Wonder Woman carrying Batman and Superman, saying "I've got this," and it's like the current state of the DC Cinematic Universe. Literally, that's what it is. This was. We'll talk about it later when you've seen it, but yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, that's pretty much it. On there may have been a couple little projects that we missed, but those are the big blockbusters, the ones that are going to open at number one, the ones that people are looking forward to, the ones that are going to impact the comic universe as a whole over the next 7 months or so.
Right.
But good time to be a comics fan.
Definitely. This whole past decade's been.
You and I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and dang, for a while the best thing out there was the made-for-TV Generation X movie.
Yeah, or the David Hasselhoff as Nick Fury.
We don't talk about that.
No, we try not to.
But I was actually a fan of that Generation X movie. Matter of fact, you know what?
I was too.
Let's do a review on that at some point.
I have a copy of it.
I have a copy.
You do? Oh,
I do.
How do I know you have a copy of it? I liked it. I remember watching it because I remember it had because it's got an actor that I like that's really underutilized. It's got Matthew Fewer, who played he played the bad guy.
He was Job in Lawnmower Man 2.
Right. But even better,
yeah,
he was Max Headroom. You remember Max Headroom, right? Or are you too young for Max Headroom?
I looked him up on YouTube.
Okay. So, but he was Max Headroom too. So, I was a huge fan of Max Headroom, and I went into X-Men thinking it was, Gen X, the TV series, I liked it. I'll be more than happy to watch it again.
He was just a really cool, like, quick talking, flamboyant dude who I really did like I kind of hated that they didn't have like a canon villain, but at the same time I did, even at the age of like 13, understood that they couldn't do that with the budget.
Right.
Like Implate would have been pretty cool, but there was no way that was
Implate
going to happen.
would have been cool.
They had a handful of characters in the movie that weren't. Anyway, we'll do that in
we'll
a
have
review,
to come back to
because
that.
there is no way I can talk for just a couple of minutes about this.
Fair enough.
So anyway, that's it. 2017, good time to be a comic book fan. Like I said, because we grew up with some really crappy projects, and like I remember you were lucky to get one a year or one every couple of years. And now we're doing like half a dozen good ones every year.
Yep.
So anyway, that's it for this episode of Comic Book Malarkey. I'm Lonnie.
I'm Mark, and if there's something you want to see us cover, mention it in the comments below.
That would actually be a really good idea. Because
like, if we haven't covered it, if there's so as you can tell, we're going over a lot of old time story arcs, right?
Yeah.
Like old stuff. So if there's something you want to see us hit, tell us. We'll go grab it. We'll read it. We'll come back and give you our view on it. Tell you what we think.
It could be garbage, or it could be the greatest thing I've ever read.
Could be.
Either way, take that chance.
So once again, we are Comic Book Malarkey.
Yes, brought to you by Infinity Flux out of Hixson, Tennessee.
Where you can get your Wonder Woman fix.
Yes.